I want to just briefly talk about the bridge up in Goshen Valley, up at, up there where it comes across, up there in Churchill. Basically, the reason I bring it up, I had a lady call me, it's been a couple of months back, had concerns with, big trucks, tractor trailers and stuff, traveling back and forth on Goshen Valley Road and crossing the bridge up there. The bridge, as far as I know up there, it's got a 10-ton weight limit on it. Well, after I talked to that lady, there was a truck up there, I think a tractor trailer, went off the edge of the road up there that was hauling, I think I had heard it was hauling glass, but I'm not sure how those trucks are getting in on Goshen Valley or where they're going, but with a 10-ton weight limit on Goshen Valley Bridge, that concerns me. So I did some checking, and I've got a copy of a report on Goshen Valley Bridge from TDOT. And it shows pictures, and I would assume that probably Danny would have access to the report. It shows where the bridge was inspected, problems with the bridge, problems with the structure, the superstructure, things like that. And they rate and score the bridge. And basically, what I wanted to bring to this committee, according to the National Bridge Inventory, Tennessee Inventory and Appraisal Report, they score these bridges from 0 to 100, with 100, I guess, being the best you can get. Well, the Goshen Valley Bridge scored a sufficiency rating. They call it a sufficiency rating. They scored it at 6 out of 100, which is about as bad as you can get. And they inspected this bridge, I think probably last year. A car or something ran into the side of it, and they inspected it on, for that. But the inspection report was done back in the year of 2021, and in the report, TDOT recommends that the bridge be replaced. And in the year of 2021, they estimated a project cost on that bridge. It came in at $14,345,000. So I just, I want to bring the condition of the bridge to the committee. And, that's something that probably would need to be looked at, addressed, funding, grants or something. But, I don't want the committee to be blindsided, next year, 2 years down the road, a truck or something goes over it, or a school bus, 2 school buses meet on that bridge and it falls, and it come out, nobody said anything about it. So, but,
You have this information here, Jeff, and talk about a replacement bridge, but Danny, do you know anything about repairing the bridge, making repairs on it?
From what I've seen, it's beyond repair.
Okay.
All the rollers, the bearings and stuff would need to be replaced. Some of the pillars are rotten. Some of the cross members on the bridge are rotten. It's just about total.
I think that bridge was built in 1962. Does that sound right? If you saw any date on it, that's when it was built.
I've got all the information at the
I
office.
think it was 62 when that bridge was
That's
built.
probably about right. I can remember it being built when I was a
Because the
kid.
governor came up and when they opened the bridge, they just had a ribbon cut.
Put the ribbon or something like
Yeah.
that.
I can speak on both those tractor trailer instances as well. They're leaving the glass plant following GPS and they're loaded at 80,000 pounds.
Well, that's what I was figuring.
Both of them, both
When
of
they're
them
getting
dealt
in there,
Yeah.
Jeff, is when they leave Greenville or coming off 81,
Mhm.
sometimes that GPS will bring them through that area, won't it?
Yeah, that's what's happened both of those.
Webster Valley, Butcher, or Hawkins Valley, they'll end up on Goshen Valley
Yeah.
and come out that way. GPS will bring them in the shortest distance.
Okay.
That's the reason a lot of them are coming that way into James.
Yeah, both those drivers, we ran both those drivers were following GPS that was it was sending them the shortest route to the interstates, what it was doing by mileage, and we found them on those side roads up in there and everywhere.
Can we put a sign up that says no through commercial traffic or something like that? I don't know if it's stopping. Maybe.
It may not stop it, it might protect us.
At least we
Like
found
on,
it.
like where you turn off, say, old 70, I call it old 70, from Turkey out to goes 81. Evidently, they go that way, then don't you turn off on Webster Valley or,
We found them all up in there. I found them on Red Hill with power lines and telephone lines hooked to them and everything. But it sends them from like those Bailington exits and the Highway 70, and they'll get in those back roads and
comes to
they'll
Van Hill.
they'll end up into Goshen Valley. Or the last one, I don't know which direction the first one was going, but the last one was going toward the interstate. He was leaving the glass plant loaded going forward, so. But in the way they,
I like you, Jason, it sounds like, we probably would need to put no through trucks signs up or something, at least for our protection. Because those roads, some of those roads, they travel, they're narrow and crooked. And if you got tractor and trailers on it, they're,
About all you can do is put the weight limit on it. You can't restrict it
Yeah.
to no trucks. If they're under 10 ton, they got to try to drive it as anybody else, but anything over it.
you're right, because up my way is on the Virginia side, but they were getting a lot of shale out of that mountain, General Shale was. And also log trucks were cutting timber on the Virginia side, and they were bringing it through Tennessee. And actually, well, the shale's going to Kingsport and Johnson to make brick. But the logs were going out, coming through Tennessee and taking them back into Virginia. And they were damaging our roads. And I talked to the county attorney at the time, and he said, you can't put a weight limit on, you can't keep those trucks off the road because they pay $6, $8, $10, $15,000 for tags. You cannot keep them off the road. I said, well, may not keep them off the road, but I'll keep them off the bridges. He said, what are you talking about? I said, I'll put a 10-ton weight limit on a bridge. Now see if I'm not right, Danny. If you got a bridge and it don't have a weight limit on it, and a truck goes across it and they break it in, the county taxpayers got to build it back. But if you've got a weight limit on that bridge, and somebody goes in, across it, over that weight limit, and they break it in, they got to build it back. Is that not right? That's what the county attorney explained.
Do we need to lower it? Weight limit?
State sets the limit on it.
Well, you can't hardly lower like on the one Jeff's talking about. How much, Danny, you know better than I, but
If you go below 10 on that one, if you go below 10 on Goshen Valley, it's closed. That's as low as you can go.
yeah. See, a school bus probably, it weigh more than 10,000 pounds.
Just one bus
Yeah,
loaded?
yeah, loaded wood.
Unloaded.
So, like Danny said, you about as low as you can go on the weight limit. But on mine, I had weight limits put on 3 or 4 bridges, and when I had those signs put up, they changed their route. But I did it to save the roads, not necessarily the bridge.
any bridge in Hawkins County over 20 foot in length is inspected by the state every 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
And they tell you what to do to it.
Uh-huh.
And last time they inspected, they dropped it to 10 ton and said to pray that 2 tractor and trailers following each other don't hit their brakes on the bridge.
One issue you might consider on signage is, you know, a lot of times you'll not see the weight limit on the bridge till you're at the bridge. And when you're in a truck, I mean, you ain't got nowhere to turn around, so if you've seen some of these signs, you know, these big yellow signs, attention, notice to truckers, you've seen these, cutback warnings. If you would put some out, you know, before they even turn onto that road, that might help.
Yeah, in my opinion, you're right.
Because once you're at the bridge, you
You're
got
too
to
late
go.
then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. You're right.
How much would a sign like you're talking about, how much would a sign like that cost then?
Probably $150, something like that.
I think there's some going across 66, aren't they? Notice the trucker switchbacks ahead or something. They're great, be like a 8x10.
But, you know, I just want to, bring it to the committee's attention,
But
what
that
the
can work
state
both
board
ways.
is.
You sign it and get it out in the public, and then something does happen, they'll say, why didn't you close it and fix it before something happened? You knew it, you put the signs up. I mean, it can go both ways on you.
You know, and as far as fixing that bridge, I don't know that there's a way for us to pull any money. Every penny that we generates $119,000. So a $14 million bridge, and then having $119,000 per penny in assessed tax revenue. The only way you could do that is a bond issue. I don't know how you could get around that. So if we're going to look, if we're going to look at fixing it, from what I'm hearing y'all say, if it was built in 1962 and it's rated 6 out of 100, I don't know that it's got another 5 to 10 year life. We've got to do something, maybe not tomorrow, but it's got to be pretty soon. So we need, maybe that we need to start looking at what, I don't want to go in debt. I'm telling you right now, I don't want to go in debt. But at the same time, there's a lot of traffic that goes across that bridge. I drove across it twice yesterday. So, you know, it is something we're going to have to address. And you're right. I mean, if we know we've got a problem, we ain't fixing it. We're being negligent.
And when he was talking about they came and inspected when the car had an accident, it was like a little Saturn. It hit this side of the bridge and come straight across and knocked out 20-foot section of the concrete, even the decking. So that's how rotten it is. I mean, it wasn't that big a hit, but it's like powder.
It's a pretty in-depth report. I mean, it's got pictures of patches and cracks and, it's a TDOT report.
And I noticed on my budget, there had not been anything taken out of the bridge fund. And I called Mr. Bean, I said, well, is there some reason we're doing this, not fixing bridges or something I need to know? He said Goshen Valley Bridge is coming up. You ain't gonna have enough, you better just kinda hold off till you see what happens.
Do you have an idea of what that bridge fund is at right now?
Not really, I think it's maybe $1.5 million. It's not enough to do the engineering on it, probably. And if that was in 2001 when it was 14, you're looking at 2025 now.
Yeah.
Now that was 2021, I believe, 14 million. Yeah, a little over 14 million at
It
that
probably
time.
cost $20 million now to do it. Jamie, would you know any of the roads that's coming, like from Greenville, across over 70, getting back to that, no, I mean, I don't know, like Danny said, you can't put no through trucks on a road because of the price they pay for tags and all that stuff, but is there anything else, or has anybody got any solutions as far as trying to keep those tractor trailers out of those narrow roads over there, on their way into Churchill, and most of them from what I hear, goes to the glass plant.
Glass plant and Dollar General's the number one ones that we find hung up. And the Dollar Generals are because so many of them are in remote locations that they'll send them those back roads. They got a lot of youth drivers too.
Danny, do you know of anything we can do to?
We just post it at the county line. Winding roads, 10-ton bridge ahead or whatever.
And just about anywhere they get to a county line that's ours, they ain't gonna be, they know where to turn around by the time they get there, is it?
Nope.
Anybody else have anything concerning, well, other business? We fell, most of that fell under number 7 there, as far as I'm concerned. Somebody else may have something.